See Minister Schaefer.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Honourable members of the Provincial Cabinet, honourable members of the Provincial Legislature, heads of department, the Department of Economic Development, Westgrow, members of the public, especially guests and business owners, good morning. 10 years ago, the Western Cape government identified economic growth and job creation as the #1 priority in this government. Economic growth and job creation are not just numbers and statistics. These two things have the biggest impact on how residents of this province live. A job is not a job. It's a window to opportunity. A person with a job has dignity, is able to put food on the table and put their child through school, thereby opening up opportunities for the next generation. The Department of Economic Development and Tourism, which is tasked with creating the enabling environment in which economic growth and job creation can happen, has a mammoth task. Speaker, I'd be doing a disservice to the citizens and businesses of this province if it had not opened with a series of own goals scored by our national counterparts. Not of this province's making, but likely to result in job losses here nonetheless. This department has worked tirelessly and successfully in facilitating private sector job creation. But how do we convince a company like Hisense that has plants to nearly double their production of TVs, fridges and white goods to give effect to that expansion in the Western Cape when the national energy utility is unable to keep the lights on? How do we convince a company like Foschini that has demonstrated appetite to bring back thousands of clothing and textile jobs when there is no guarantee that the electric sewing machines will work? We already import too many goods into this province, and manufacturing holds the key to our ability to create new jobs. How do we convince global call centre companies to continue to create thousands of jobs as they did last year when they won't be able to even turn their computers on? It's only through the trust and relationships developed by this government and this department in particular that these firms are taking a wait-and-see approach instead of writing off this region completely. The energy security risk is not only to job creation, but to sustain current employment, and it cannot be overstated. Added to this, the constraint to productivity that is our poorly functioning rail system. A Cape Chamber of Commerce study found that more than 86% of businesses believe that Metro Rail threatened the sustainability of their businesses, with surveyed firms reporting a decline in profits. It is becoming more challenging to persuade foreign and local investors to commit to expanding. Investment is critical to improving productivity, growing the GDP and creating jobs. A decline in investment, which is the likely outcome of these two national-owned goals, will lead to fewer jobs and exacerbate the feeling of hopelessness. It is truly remarkable, then, in light of this, that this province created more than 120,000 jobs it did over the last 15 months. Speaker, economic development and tourism has been allocated $1.607 billion over the medium term, of which $523.367 million will be spent in the 2019-2020. The program as follows: its administration received $67.555 million, integrated economic development services $68.365 million, trade and sector development $63.571 million, business regulation and governance $9.9 million, economic planning $189.271 million, tourism, arts and entertainment $60.154 million, skill development and innovation $64.551 million. The Western Cape's working age population grew 25% faster than the rest of South Africa, primarily as a result of migration from other provinces. Despite a growing population, this province has recorded the lowest broad unemployment rate in the country at 23.1%. But this still means that 600,000 people still do not have a job in this province. Our spending focus over the next year and in the medium term will continue to drive the creation of an environment for growth and jobs through the reduction of red tape, by boosting our attractiveness as an investment destination and through continued infrastructure-led investment. Speaker, South Africa and the Western Cape have a growing youth population. What should be viewed as an opportunity has the potential to easily become a crisis if we do not find solutions to youth unemployment now. But the fourth quarter of 2018, there were 3.9 million unemployed young people in the country, with 382,000 of these living in the Western Cape. If we include these young people not currently searching for work, these numbers rise to 6.2 million and 473,000 respectively. Since 2010, the Western Cape has reduced youth unemployment by 2.2% and created 122,524 jobs for young people, but our work is not yet done. Nobody wins when the youth are unemployed. Young people with no access to economic opportunities start to depend on their aging parents, family members, or become reliant on the state for grants and assistance. On the other side of the coin, the potential and skills of millions of young working-age people are lost to society. Speaker, this month, I launched a new initiative called Youth on the Move during a 2-day roadshow in George. This project, which will be rolled out in partnership with municipalities, aims to connect young people and employers in these areas. During the event, I met with employers and young people to talk about what is standing in the way of young people finding employment. For the employers, it was largely a lack of skills. For young people, it was about resources. It is expensive to print CVs, to, for example, travel to interviews or to get to work. I've committed to creating 250,000 new opportunities for young people over the next 5 years, and to do this, we need to be finding ways to ensure that these barriers are erased and the uptake of young people into jobs is improved. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the matric economics class, who was here a few minutes ago, from St. Andrew's High School. They're probably looking at the 3D printing, which they find extremely exciting. Over the public holiday, I attended an event near the school and found these pupils at school working towards their future success. The future economy will be driven by innovation and technology, and please let me state that I have to thank agriculture for printing out of wood in 3D printing my bracelet for today, so I have just actually oversaw that. The future economy will be driven by innovation and technology. It will need to embrace green technologies and renewable energy, and it's going to require the development of a whole new set of skills and the reskilling of a large number of people. DIDA has allocated 196.55 million towards the coordination, facilitation, and implementation of skills development initiatives over the next 3 years, with special focus on youth skills. These youth skill programs include artisan development, skills for the digital economy, financial and business sector skills, improving the quality of maths, science, and engineering qualifications, and developing entrepreneurial skills. Over the last 5 years, the Skills Unit placed 5,275 youth with host companies in the Work and Skills program and supported a further 2,895 training opportunities to youth to further skills and improve their employability. In the coming financial year, the department will invest 11.2 million on the Work and Skills program. The Artisan Development Program is designed to increase the number of people with technical and vocational skills in the Western Cape. For this purpose, an allocation of 12.2 million will be made available in the 2019-2020 to support over 300 apprentices at host companies to becoming qualified artisans. The aim of Entrepreneurship Game Changer has been to achieve sufficient qualified technical and vocational skilled people to meet the needs of our priority growth areas of tourism, oil and gas, agri-processing, ICT, and renewable energy. By December 2018, we had exceeded the target of 10,228 young people entering the workplace-based learning programs, with 10,471 learners having started. These apprenticeships offer windows of opportunity to young people, allowing them to learn new skills that will either get them to that all-important first job or allow them to start their own businesses one day, which is exactly what Siyabonga Makatini plans to do one day. Siyabonga is a construction engineering student specializing in plumbing, in particular solar plumbing installations. He received a bursary for his studies and is currently doing his apprenticeship at Element 4 in Somerset West. He says, within the next 5 years, my goal is to start my own plumbing company that specializes in all kinds of plumbing. But in order for apprentices to develop the sufficient level of skill, they require mentors. Mentorship in this area is regulated, and only 2 apprentices can be assigned to a qualified artisan at one time. In the 2019-2020 year, we will allocate 1 million to train 100 workers as mentors in order to support apprentices on the pathway to becoming qualified artisans. Another 1 million will be used to help assist workers use the recognition of prior learning toolkits developed by the department to be assessed and speed up their access to be trade tested. Speaker, I want to tell you the remarkable story of Dion Benny. Dion dreamed of being able to do his trade test and reached out to several training institutions over the years in a bid to get his official qualification. However, as he only has grade 6 and suffers from dyslexia, nobody wanted to help him. Dion then heard about Africa Skills Village in George and decided to try one last time. The recognition of prior learning toolkit could be applied to his unique needs, and I'm pleased to say that Dion successfully completed his trade test in welding about 2 weeks ago and is now looking for job opportunities in the petroleum industry. Speaker, the Western Cape has set a new goal of becoming a global tech hub. We're already home to the most productive tech sector in Africa. In order to control and continue growing the sector and attracting investors, we will be working with partners including the City of Cape Town, BPESA, EOH, Imperial Technical Academy and City, who have all contributed towards work readiness and training initiatives in the ICT and business processing sectors. At the ICANN Centre in Elsies River, citizens have taken advantage of over 6,500 digital courses, ranging from basic computer literacy to more advanced ones. Last year, DDAT secured partnerships with Google and IBM for digital skills training content, and the first set of the new ICANN delivery sites are being activated in the following communities: Piketberg, Veldrift, Goedverwacht, Porterville, Saldanha Bay, and Bredasdorp. We are using innovation to build our economy and to help grow small business. Starting a business can be really scary, and it requires a huge leap of faith. To understand this, I took my own leap of faith a few weeks ago out of an airplane at 9,000 feet. Sorry. Speaker, this was part of the launch of Jump, an innovative new mobile app that will help small businesses succeed by allowing them to connect with other businesses, access assistance and mentorship, and other opportunities. Before the app even went live yesterday, we had 2,600 businesses sign up, and I encourage all small businesses and small business support organizations to sign up and be part of it. In addition to being innovative, we also need to be resilient. In the Western Cape, we've allocated 28.4 million to the green economy and energy in the current year. In order to respond to the current and future electricity challenges, as well as to grow economic opportunities around providing renewable sources of energy, the department has been driving the Smart Grids rooftop photovoltaics project since 2015. So far, we've installed approximately 112 megawatts with a target of 135 megawatts by 2020. In the 2019-2020 year, this project is allocated 1.9 million. I urge all businesses and residents to consider solar PV as an alternative energy source with a battery backup. While our focus is currently on energy, water supply and resilience is of equal importance. The drought has shown us the value of water, and in 2019-2020, we will be spending 6 million on economic water resilience projects. Over the past year, Green Cape, which is funded by the department, has worked with businesses to reduce their water consumption. As a result, a major cement manufacturer now uses 50% less water per tonne of product produced. Working with Green Cape, a soft drink manufacturer now uses 27% less water. This is the new normal. The Western Cape has a fast-growing green economy, and we intend to drive this growth through the Atlanta Special Economic Zone, which will develop the area into a green manufacturing hub. In 2019-2020, this project is allocated 26.537 million. It has already secured 4 invested, valued at 680 million, creating 300 new jobs. In the 2019-2020 year, the Special Economic Development Infrastructure Company will be established. SEDEC will be our holding company that will set up the establishment of the Atlanta Special Economic Zone. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Standing Committee and the House for their support to ensure that the bill has got so far. The establishment, and certainly hope to be passed today. The establishment of SEDEC will enable us to initiate the Atlanta Special Economic Zone entity, which will have representation from the Atlantis community and labour on its board. Programs that seek to develop enterprises and skill within the local community and broader green tech ecosystem will also continue to roll out in the new year, with the objective of providing 100 young people with skill development opportunities and supporting local enterprises towards becoming procurement ready. Speaker, we recognise that we need to be creating windows of opportunity across the province, and in order that people are able to access those opportunities where they live. I'm pleased to announce a 30 million rand stimulus aimed at increasing support to SMMEs and to developing the economies in mainly rural areas such as Bredasdorp, Clanwilliam, Hermanus, Riebeek West, Swellendam, and Culloden. In addition, Westgrove will be rolling out a district unit with the objective of extending Westgrove's services into the regions. This will help to market businesses in the district, increase awareness of investment opportunities, and to assist companies to link into the Export Advancement Program. Our red tape reduction and ease of doing business interventions are showing remarkable results. Earlier this year, we reached a targeted 1 billion rand in economic savings from interventions that cut red tape and made it easier to do business. One of the biggest wins have been the reduction in the time it takes to consider and approve building plans in municipalities like the City of Cape Town, Drakenstein, and Theewaterskloof. For the 2019-2020 financial year, another 11 municipalities have been identified for improvement of local business-facing services through building control portals and other digitized improvements in the Municipal Support to Business program. This will reduce time, cost, and complexity while promoting certainty of processes for local businesses. Our SMME Booster program has been allocated 21 million to support township business and rural SMMEs in order to drive development and to create jobs. Close to 100 SMMEs will be directly supported, resulting in improved business efficiency, increased turnover and profitability, asset value, and new market development. This program will focus on providing infrastructure support like trading and storage space to micro-enterprises and identifying women and youth-owned businesses with high growth potential. Small businesses are most impacted by resource shortages like water shortages and load shedding, and as such, SMMEs in distress will be offered support in order to protect them and the jobs that they've created. We will also continue the rollout of our Pick and Pay Spaza Shop program, which identifies spaza shops and communities for development into supermarkets. So far, we've rolled out 3 stores in the province with the aim of growing a new generation of modern retail entrepreneurs. The department also directly supports small businesses through its Enterprise Development Unit interventions such as the Agri-Processing Supplier Development Program. This program has held small businesses across the province in the vital areas of turnover growth, profitability, market access opportunities, and most importantly, creating new jobs. In the end of 2017, 22 small, medium, and micro enterprises were selected to be part of the program and receive the support in various forms. Speaker, when Project Khaleesa was launched as our sector-specific growth strategy in 2014, it set out a series of specific targets which hold everyone involved to account. I'm pleased to say that as we near the end of this term, we've achieved a number of these targets, resulting in a positive and quantifiable impact on our economy. Total employment in this province has grown by 360,000 jobs in the allocated period, against a target of 260,000. In agri-processing, we hosted our first successful Halal Week last year, with plans to host the next one later this year. We have also recorded a 12% increase in the dollar value of exports of halal goods. Exports in this sector are now valued at a total of 14.5 billion rand annually. Africa Equations, a Cape Town-based black woman-owned business producing high-quality sparkling juices, has been involved in a number of halal promotional outward missions and trade shows where they have been able to secure new markets and new buyers. Their Zari juices are a popular non-alcoholic alternative to champagne and sparkling wine. They have now been served at weddings, banquets, and celebrations around the world. The brand is stocked in premium hotels, including at Sun City, the One and Only, the Alba, Marisol, Maslow, Michelangelo, and passengers on British Airways flights on New Year's Day this year sipped on our Zari juices. At the 2018 Halal Week Expo, a significant wholesaler from Singapore placed an order within 20 minutes of the trade show opening for activations to gauge interest into the Singapore market. In tourism, we've seen job numbers grow by an average of 5%, or 9,512 jobs annually over the duration of the Khaleesa interventions. The GVA of this sector also increased by 7.5% between 2016 and 2017. The Air Access project, which is a joint venture between various spheres of government and the private sector, has shown remarkable results since its inception. The success of the project is reflected on the international terminal passenger growth. 16% growth recorded in 2016, 20% growth in 2017, and 9% growth for 2018 in two-way passengers. This has contributed an estimated 6 billion rand in tourism spend to the Western Cape economy. International air cargo has also seen a phenomenal 52% growth during 2017 due to the added belly freight capacity. Khaleesa also focused on growing cycle and business tourism to the province. We have now launched 4 cycle routes across the province, and our work to increase business and conferencing is paying off, with the Convention Bureau securing 15 bid conferences, which will add 583 million to the economy and bring nearly 22,000 delegates to our province. In the oil and gas sectors, we've seen double-digit increases in GVA of 10.6%, with the sector contributing 1.382 billion in 2017. It has also created 5,690 direct jobs. In other sector-specific initiatives, our work to grow the film industry continues. Wesgro holds the film and media promotions mandate from DDAT and the City of Cape Town. To date, the unit has helped attract over 3.8 billion rand in production value spend and nearly 4,500 full-time equivalent jobs. In the 2017 and 2018 financial year, the unit facilitated 1.9 billion in spend and approximately 2,000 full-time equivalent jobs. The unit is currently focused on encouraging long-form TV series such as the HBO Cinemax Warrior, which is currently in season 2, and Sir Ridley Scott's TV series Raised by the Wolves, which were both shot here. Speaker, over the past year, Cape Town and the Western Cape have collected a number of accolades in the tourism sector. All of these mean very little if our visitors do not feel safe. DDAT has a dedicated tourism safety and support unit which provides proactive and reactive responses to tourists in distress to ensure that we create a caring environment should the worst happen. In the 2019-2020 financial year, the department will be launching a comprehensive audit of all existing tourism safety-related signage, starting with a pilot program on a single region in the province. In addition, a structured tourism road signage training program will be developed and training provided to tourism and municipal officials, starting with a pilot in one region this year. We are also working to develop a database of tourist-related crime and incidents across the Western Cape to track trends and enable DDA to focus their efforts based on factual data. Our existing teams of tourism safety officers will be further equipped with branded equipment, and anti-theft backpack covers will be provided for tourists. Our Journey to Service Excellence program will also continue in the next financial year. Each year, the program will include a workshop component, a phone-in radio competition to nominate businesses giving excellent service, and a leadership program are offered to businesses in one area. In 2019-2020 financial year, the program will be offered in the Cape One towns of Paarl and Wellington. Speaker, this department has been tasked with creating an enabling environment for growth and jobs, and it is clear that the work they are doing are paying dividends despite the many headwinds we have had to face. As a result, the Western Cape has the least discouraged job seekers, who are the most hopeful of finding work. We are investing in the youth and changing lives through access to opportunities. Finally, Speaker, I'd like to thank once again, my predecessor, Minister Alan Winde, for the last 10 years of his hard work in this portfolio. I would also like to extend my thanks to HOD Solly Fourie and his team over there, who are working tirelessly to ensure that we are able to deliver on this massive mandate and with not such a big budget, Solly. I'd also like to thank all of the organizations and the private sector companies who share our vision and have partnered with us to help develop and deliver on that vision. My thanks must also go to Honourable Simmers and the committee for their valuable work and oversight over to the department. And to the businesses out there, thank you for your contribution to the growth in our economy. And to my staff and office, to Vuvu and her team at the Ministry of Economic Opportunities, I am only because we are. Thank you very much.
The Honourable Simmers.
Dankie, Deputy Speaker. Eerstens, ek wil die minister bedank vir regtig waar 360 grade oorsig oor die suksesse van hierdie departement, want ons word gemeet nie aan wat ons sê nie, maar aan wat ons doen. Deputy Speaker, on the 5th of March, Minister Meyer informed this House that the budget he tabled before it was to ensure maximum citizen impact. En gegee wat die minister so pas vir ons gesê het, wat 'n groter impak was daar nie oor die afgelope 10 jaar gemaak nie. Maar Deputy Speaker, this maximum citizen impact can only be realized if an enabling environment for job creation and skills development is provided for, which is ultimately the duty of all spheres of government. Deputy Speaker, a provincial government that seeks to ensure an enabling environment in the context of the current economic climate en alle probleme daarmee aangekoppel, will focus on energy security, skills development, infrastructure development, and lastly, trade and investment. And this is exactly what this DA-led government has done, and I will now expand on how this government, through the table 2019 MTF budget, are still going to continue doing it. Energy security, Deputy Speaker. Over the last few weeks, we have really experienced, and I think we can all agree, with a lot of frustration, load shedding due to the rapid failure of Eskom. To ensure that we continue to grow our provincial economy, sustainable energy security is indeed needed now more than ever. With this national government and its SOE failing us yet again, this DA-led provincial government will continue the rollout of priority initiatives linked to energy security by diversifying the energy mix that is required to ensure our economy is sustained. These initiatives include the Smart Grid project, which focuses on the development and implementation of tariffs and rules for rooftop photovoltaic units to attract investment through the Green Cape that will enable the creation of jobs primarily in the manufacturing sector through engagements on local content in the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Procurement Program. Ondervoorzitter, deur te versekeren dat die ligte aanbly, kan ons dan begin praat van vaardigheidsontwikkeling. Dan word dit moontlik gemaak. Vaardigheidsontwikkeling. Hierdie departement het 196,555 miljoen oor die 2019 MTF periode begroot, wat primêr fokus op die koördinering, fasilitering en implementering van vaardigheidsinisiatiewe in ons provinsie. Van hierdie inisiatiewe sluit in die gefokuste vakleerlingskapprogramme, ambagmanontwikkeling wat broodnodig is veral in ons ekonomiese ontwikkelingszones, vaardighede vir die digitale ekonomie, die kwaliteitverbetering van wiskunde en wetenskap en die ontwikkeling van entrepreneurskapsvaardighede. Daar word ook 'n verdere 210,455 miljoen oor die MTF-periode geallokeer vir ons gestruktureerde landbou en onderrig en opleidingsprogram. Met die ligte aan wat aanbly in die sistematiese vaardigheidsvlakverbetering en toevoeging van bekwame ambagsmanne tot die arbeidsmark, kan ons nou werklikwaar fokus op infrastruktuurontwikkeling, wat nog meer werksgeleenthede verseker vir die plaaslike gemeenskap, waar dit ook al sal geskied. Deputy Speaker, over the 2019 MTF, an amount of 156.8 million has been allocated towards the Saldanha IDZ as a key catalytic driver for economic growth within the West Coast District. A further 96.562 million has also been allocated towards the Atlantis Special Economic Zone for the manufacturing of green technologies and related services. Ondervoorzitter, oor die 2019 MTF is 197,274 miljoen geallokeer vir die promosie van handel en beleggingsaktiwiteite in die provinsie wat fokus op die Afrika-mark as kernbelegging en handelsbestemming. Wesgrow gaan ook hierdie beleggingspromosie verder dryf deur die vestiging van die munisipale distrikseenheids- en projekhoop. Deputy Speaker, over the last decade, all our residents from Koffiehoek, which is in Minister Grant's constituency, to Lutzville in the West Coast, have experienced service delivery which was and still remains focused on maximizing the impact for our end users. And this has greatly been accomplished and made possible by a competent DA-led government. And our province is full of unlimited potential, Deputy Speaker. We have communities, which I visited over the last 3 weeks, that continue to not lose hope. And we have youth that are truly experiencing the opportunities made available to them, which is driven by an active DA-led government that truly cares and will still care after the 8th of May under our new Premier, who will expand on its successes. Because, as I said in a speech before, we have opted to choose the road less traveled. If this is the successes that one province can do in 10 years, imagine the change that this province will further experience, and hopefully this country over the next 10 years. Thank you very much. That is why the DA supports this vote.
The Honourable Nkondlu.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Let me greet you and the colleagues in the House. Occasioned by this debate on the allocation and distribution of state resources to deliver services to our people and communities, we gather here a week later post a reminder of our painful past of injustice, which we all journeyed into and resolved to never repeat. We agreed to reconfirm this day in correcting and redressing this past as Human Rights Day. As a month of human rights, it is proper for us as public reps to pause and ask how a task of resource distribution and allocation befits the character of a human rights culture. South Africa accepted a Bill of Rights in sync with such a spirit, included that in the socio-economic rights. Socio-economic rights, as defined by one of the Human Rights Institute, are defined as rights that give people access to certain basic things, resources, opportunities, and services needed to live a dignified life. How then does this budget rate in terms of its duty to protect, to respect, promote, and fulfill all the rights in the Bill of Rights fairly and equitably? In the Department of Economic Development and Tourism's 5-year strategic plan 2015 to 2020, the department commits to expand 550 small businesses through financial and non-financial support measures by 2020. Interestingly, Minister, perhaps you will answer better about the 22 small businesses that were selected that you are mentioning in participating in the agro-processing. Because as part of that strategic outcome as the department, one of the commitments that you make is to, in particular, bring in small businesses in the agro-processing, particularly to ensure strong linkages both upstream in terms of primary agriculture and downstream in terms of the wholesale, retail, and restaurant. So while one is asking, acknowledging Leandra was in the house, if she's still here, and the other SMMEs that were brought into the house, how many, in as far as the target that was set by the department, that have been delivered? How far has the department realized its own strategic objective and intent? And as far as access to finance, the same department mentions, amongst others, to provide guarantee mechanisms. Beyond it, which is what we have observed of being a middleman between the national government grants or loan schemes, what guarantee mechanisms or any innovative funding models for SMME have been produced by this department. One of the things that is also included in the strategic plan is access to local and export markets. Beyond the shows by Westgrow, show evidence of SMMEs with contracts from both local and international markets. We await to date significant interventions of this department to women in the wine, women that are producing wine under the treasure chest, and others to help in securing orders in the international fairs as part of their venture to promote local wines. How also in your partnership that you pride yourself with, Minister, of Pick and Pay, have you managed to ensure that you encourage Pick and Pay as also your partner to boost local economies, to include these local wines in their shelves, and how much sales, if any, were registered from that venture? One of the things also included in the strat plan is lowering regulatory burdens. Minister Windy, who is your predecessor and now a Minister of Community Safety, over the couple of days or week was handed a memorandum by local liquor traders from townships here in the streets of Whale Street on the regulatory burdens and red tape in accessing liquor licenses, let alone that this particular function has been moved from this department DDET to the Department of Community Safety. And as part of that delegation, you also had street vendors and informal traders who were complaining about the lack of support from the department and instead finding themselves to be chased through law enforcement agencies instead of being recognized as small businesses who are also trying, like any other business, to fare and build their own economies. So the question once again is, what do these contrasting socio-economic realities mean for a human rights-based government of the Western Cape? As we answer that particular question, one also wants to ask in yourself, Minister, that if we talk about the local economic development function, one of the things in the strategic objective, I quote once again, that the department has committed to support growth of regional economies and ensure, amongst others, to increase by 6% annually the LED maturity index. How far are you in as far as that commitment that was made by the department itself? One of the interesting things when one read the economy of the Western Cape, it is important to not only live with optics and also the lamentations about in-migration and inability to ensure urbanization is actually embraced by this particular government. If one actually looks at some of the reports that are in the Mero, which I think I always take my hat off from the Minister of Finance about that particular report that he presents to give also the reflection of the regional economies in this particular province. One of the things that one, if you were to link the growth of this provincial economy also to its subparts, which are the 6 regions of this province, In page 50 of the Mero, one of the things that it highlights is unemployment rate that has been on the upward trend since 2013 in the Cape Metro, which has actually increased from 20.3% in 2016 to 21.1% in 2017. And this is mainly in Khayelitsha, Mitchells Plain at 31%, Cape Flats at 24.2%, Tigerberg at 18.3%. In page 55 of that Mero report, again, it says, in as far as SMMEs, there remain serious challenges of SMMEs in the same districts or areas that I've just mentioned of Cape Flats and Khayelitsha. Again, it also speaks about challenges of skills and training in as far as those communities are concerned, which then questions their ability to participate in the economic opportunities and the growth potential presented by the provincial economy. Interesting also in the same report, if one looks at page 153, contrasting to a non-metro municipality, if you look at the West Coast District, in page 153, the report once again informs us of most workers in this district are low-skilled workers, which are therefore susceptible to be laid off with dire socio-economic implications for that particular district, given the volatile economic environment that we live in. These are what, in one judgment by the courts on the socio-economic rights, refer as people in desperate circumstances, which I believe when we talk about the growth potential and we talk about the successes, we must always be able to measure ourselves with the most vulnerable people in our economy and also in our province. As we do that, also in page 184, it actually mentions Matsikama as one of the most unequal areas in the West Coast, with a Gini coefficient that is actually above all the other areas in that particular district. So the question once again is, how do we then read the growth and celebrate this economic growth of the Western Cape in contrast to its subparts, which are these local economies, which I think in the committee we have made the necessary noise every time we meet, even at the time you were a chairperson, to raise this particular matter of the integration of the economy, so that you don't only see a 71% contribution of the metro economy in the provincial economy, but you also work on ramping up the other economies so that you can actually deal with also the in-migration, where people are looking for opportunities in the city. And one also welcomes, I think, what you have just mentioned about the SMME stimulus, the district unit that will be at Westgro, and also, I think, the initiative that was reported by the department on trying to bring in townships and regions into the tourism approach of the department. Those are welcomed, and actually give credit also to the members of this committee for the work that they've done in the lobbying of the department to really try and move beyond optics, and we get to the real business of the department. Having said that, Madam Deputy Speaker, one of the things that I think is very important for us as we debate here is that when we talk about these socio-economic rights, these rights are given strong protection in our constitution, and South Africa has committed to redressing the past wrongs and improving the quality of life of its people. So that remains a responsibility that we all must take very serious as the different spheres of government.
Remember your time has expired, but just finish off your last sentence.
Thank you, Speaker. As I conclude, then, it is important also to note that we caution the use of consultants, as in page 683 of our Blue Book. In Program 2, there's about 204% increase in goods and services from 10.4 million to 31.6 million. Again, in page 687 in Program 3, there's about 162% increase on goods and services from 1.2 to 3.2.
Your time has really expired. Thank you. The next speaker is the Honourable Regan Allen. My apology, it's actually the minister. the Minister to respond.
That is
You may
indeed a
take your
joke.
seat. You may take your seat. Minister Schäfer? Minister. Order. Chief Whip?
Deputy
Chief Whip?
Deputy Speaker, I must object. You have frightened my member so badly. He's going to have to take a toilet break now, and we may lose our quorum. But I do want to object again. This is the 14th vote over 3 days, where neither the ACDP nor the EFF have fulfilled their responsibility to their voters to represent their
member.
interests as far as the budget is concerned.
Thank you.
It is an absolute disgrace.
Order. The Minister to respond? Minister Schäfer.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. So, Speaker, this is a thank you very much to the honourable members who've made their contributions here today. But I think really important, let us not forget this. This is the report card of this Western Cape government, and in it, it basically states, and these stats can be proved, 82% of the 2018 budget is for indigenous communities. This is an 82% pro-poor budget. So when we talk about economic development, let us not forget 0.78% of the total budget. They do a whole lot more above their weight than what they have. Well, just look at our stats, our employment stats to understand, and look at the work that we're doing on the youth and skills programs to understand. But I think what's really important is of the 22 agro-processing companies, amongst the successes the group recorded, 73% of the businesses have acquired new clients and have increased the number of customers that they've had. 68% of the businesses have launched and commercialized new projects into the market. 36% have entered new market segments and to reach new and more customers. 55% of companies are now represented in new geographic market and regions. And also, 12 of the companies surveyed can provide mid-year sales information. Of these, 75% indicated that their sales figures have increased. Of the businesses, Natural Beauty has, for example, seen an increase in sales of its teen range through its online platforms, and while this has seen this increase in their order book, the increase still needs to be quantified. So, however, its brands geared at the adult skincare market, we've seen an increase of 33% in in-store sales through the Wellness Warehouse chain. The program has also helped brands enter the market in Gauteng and in 3 new Wellness Warehouse stores across South Africa. 8 of the companies could provide data on profit performance, and of these, 75% of the both businesses indicated that their profitability had improved. At Herbal View Hydroponics, for example, because you asked me to talk about these 22 businesses, the migration from primary agriculture produce to value-added processed items created an estimated increase of around 20% in sales, while maintaining a steady cash flow due to the margins attained. So thus far, 28 new jobs have been created, with more confidence that they will be employing more people within the next 6 months. So really, these companies that we're talking about really are benefiting from the programs that we have. In terms of our funding models, we partner with the NEF to provide fast loans. The Small Enterprise Financing Agency is a national function, and we have a small grant system for equipment and plant, and then at our funding fair, opportunity is also available. And remember that the kiosks across in Long Street are operating at no rental costs. We can also say that we've got an investment readiness program, as well as those for companies who are ready to take their next step in expanding their businesses. Also, I want to say that in my tenure as chair of the standing committee, I ensured that Wesco presented on their programs to assist businesses in all areas. I'm not sure if you attended those sessions or perhaps a member Mkhonto, but you've been very much part of this program. There's not an isolation of small businesses or small SMMEs or the informal traders. In terms of the informal trading, I want to talk about that. That is a key focus area in the next term. What I must emphasize there really, and it is the research that is coming out, it's been done in collaboration with the City of Cape Town, an independent partner, and ourselves onto the informal trading sector. But really, whether the, I can't vouch for informal traders getting fined by law enforcement officers because they're possibly trading illegally. I mean, in the end of the day, I'm not quite sure what the merits of that story is. But the point of the matter is we do not overlook any informal traders. We believe that the informal market and the informal economy is a huge and valuable market in contributing and particularly securing the poorest of the poor with jobs. Remember, we want to make sure that in every house there is at least one person earning work and earning income. In terms of your socioeconomic rights, I think in the end of I really think at the end of the day and at the final point, Member Mkhonto, while you continue to have a conversation with our members over across at the House here, this committee that you sit on has always done great oversight work over the Department of Economic Development and Tourism. We know that this department is doing a whole lot more, as I've stated, and I really do, actually, in the interest of all of them, want to thank them for the work they do. I've been working, obviously, as the new minister, very closely with them, really understanding the skills that they have. And I have to say that I appreciate that the work that this department churns out, because without them and their relationship with business out there, we would not have the numbers we have today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That concludes the debate on this vote. Order. We will suspend for a short while and then resume with the third order. The House is suspended.